fox go against 3Q. Splitting my time between fox and OGS. I actually like OGS interface better. And generally the people at OGS give me a little bit longer games because fox people tend to try to fight me as soon as possible. And because of the rank disparity, they kind of like die instantly. So the OGS ones actually give me better teaching games for content, but I don't mind playing a crazy, like, aggressive person on fox. And sometimes, like, they don't play crazy effective. This one is going for the old Moyo thing. It's definitely going for the old Moyo shape. Remember, this is not actually that great because I can actually tuck under here. And if I do that, when I actually tuck under here, that's useless. When I actually tuck under here, that's an interesting move there, actually. I think I'm gonna fight early with this guy. Ancient attachment move. I can sacrifice and give him the corner. I think I'm gonna do. Because this completely breaks his Moyo. I don't mind sacrificing the corner to actually do this. Do I connect here or do I double tag his mouth? I'll double tag his mouth as usual. I don't mind sacrificing the corner to do that with him. If I do that, he gets the corner, so I'm going to come down here. Now I'm going to break 2. Figured he'd do that. I'm actually not afraid of this nearly as much. And I can actually go here. That's perfect. We're going to try to kill him now. Because why not? It's pretty much cost-free to me. Okay, I'll take that easily. He doesn't really gain that much from it. I'm separating myself out, but I actually think I actually think that this group right here is fairly strong. And also, I'm not really afraid. I'll just take the damn corner. I'll easily take that. This is actually putting this group in a little bit of danger, but we'll see what that does. Don't think he can kill me here. I'm going to fly out. That's perfectly fine. first. Is he dead if I do this? Let's just do this and see. I think that's the wrong way to Atari. That's definitely the wrong way to Atari. He had to do this if he wanted any chance. He legitimately he legitimately had to go the other way if he wanted any chance. He didn't need to do that. But that gives me a comfortable kill up here. He can still surround this group. Let's not forget. But I think this group is dead regardless of what he does. So I'm just going to secure my group over here, because if I actually do that, I think I win. I'll let him do that. Huh. You know what? This doesn't actually matter, because if I can surround his group, I don't really care if those two... Remember, this is dead. Okay, you can't connect, so that's useless.
Yo-Yomi now starts.
That's completely useless, because now I think he might actually be dead. Okay, I'm going to connect. I want to see what he does. That's a useless move, because he can play he can't even play the Ko down there, so yeah, I'm just gonna do this because I have way more liberties than he does. He has to understand he cannot actually win that liberty battle with me. That's not a good move either. Can't do anything. Doesn't have enough liberties to do anything. He's going to end up like basically killing himself in like pretty much every single way possible. All right, I'm going to ignore that now and start to just attack this. Oh, you can't do this, because at this point you have to run this, because if I essentially live here, then you don't have any territory anywhere. This is pretty hopeless. Like at this point, the game's actually pretty hopeless for him. But the thing is, you have to play in a way that gives you at least like some chance of winning. And this does not give him any real chance of winning. So if I just block here, if I just block here, like this is alive, and pretty much like I'm just gonna let him have that because it doesn't really matter, and just make sure this lives because he doesn't have any territory. That's not like that might save that, but it's really not gonna save much else. don't need to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways, just because that kills all hope of actually killing this group. And since he can't actually kill this group, what should I do here, actually? I think I'm just going to play it the safe way, because if he does this, he can actually cut here. And
9,
I think I'm
8,
fine.
7, 6, 5.
Yeah, I think I'm fine. It's a risky play, but I'm pretty sure I'm fine. He does that. Okay, that actually doesn't do him any good, because I can just push. Remember, he only has like 4 liberties here. He only has 2 liberties. He can't actually do anything in this corner. Like, you have to count your liberties in all these fights. Because if you Atari, I can just extend. And I just kill these 3, and the rest of everything else is dead. You do have to consider, like, more aspects of a fight. He resigned. You do actually have to consider more aspects of a fight than what's originally presented right in front of you. He was actually concentrating on, like, essentially probably like these stones and not these stones. And then he was concentrating on these stones versus these 2 and not these 3 against these 2. So, like, you have to count the liberties multiple ways. This is an interesting game, even though eventually just got slaughtered. This was actually quite an interesting game. So he plays here. I go here, standard start. That's actually a move I would do a lot against, like, this rank of opponent. I would play the Moyo style. That's generally not a good move, because eventually, like, this move is actually quite hard to deal with if you play this. Like, people think that this solidifies the corner, but that doesn't actually solidify the corner. There's that move, so it doesn't really solidify the corner at all. So I just build, like, my Moyo thing. He does that. This stone is very, very light. If you use a couple of stones to kill this stone, I don't really care. So I'm going to go elsewhere. He does this. I'm going to bump because I already have a stone there. And when I actually bump, he can't actually get a good, like, jump over here. He does that. But, like, that's generally... I generally am against that move because it lets me do this. And this is the sequence I've played out many times. And... yes, I really don't have much expansion potential either way, but it does make me pretty thick, first of all. And I basically did it because, like, this kind of destroys his Moyo over here. Because he was building this Moyo, I just destroyed the Moyo. And there's still this move down here. So sacrificing this corner is okay for me at this point. Doing this, I do this. He does this, I take the corner. He does this. Now I'm just going to attack right away. He does this, that's fine. I'm kind of afraid of this cut. I know he won't do it right now. I'm kind of afraid of this. I'm afraid of this cut because I don't think the ladder works for me because of these stones there. I'm not exactly sure it does. Let me play this out. Because, like, if the ladder doesn't work for me, then I do actually have problems here. Let me actually play this. I didn't calculate out this ladder. I didn't think it worked for me, but actually it does because, like, I have that corner over there. I'm pretty sure it does now, because I actually have the corner over there, yeah. Misses by a little bit, but it actually does, so he can't do that. You know what Kata would do? Kata would, like, play some bastardly move over there just to make sure the ladder doesn't actually work. Like, I'm sure Kata would play, like, some... I'm pretty sure Kata would, like, before he disconnects, would play some random-ass move over here and force me to connect, and then, like, do something like this, so, like, the ladder would actually work in his favor. Because if he actually does this... I think the ladder does actually... Let me actually check if the ladder actually works in his favor. Because I know Katago would do this. I've played the bot enough times, and the bot actually has enough insight. And honestly, the bot actually has enough insight to do this. So, okay, this still doesn't work for him. But, like... and Katago would actually calculate this out to see that this doesn't work in the end. But he would actually... Like, Kata would honestly do something like that. But except, like, you know, maybe Kata, before he plays this, would actually play, like, here, right? And then what would you do? Then what would you actually do? Because, like, if you answer him and play out here, then he cuts and the ladder no longer works for you. This is something that the AI bot would do, and it's actually quite effective. But right now, since the ladder works, he can't cut. Since the ladder works, he can't actually cut. But Kata would actually play some forcing moves right here until like the ladder you can actually cut on that. So he does this. I think if he just did this, I think if he just connected, I would actually have a much harder time because, no, actually I wouldn't because I can do this and do forcing moves, I guess. Yeah, I guess he had to. He had to come down. I'm not very good with this Aji in the corner. There's always that in the corner. So I suppose, yeah, I probably should have just, I should have just killed him. I'm not very good with this. I'm not very good with corner Ajis. So this might have actually been the play to do. Because you can actually kill him here. So I definitely should have just done that. That's my bad. But anyways, I got quite a bit out of it. I do this. And essentially like he has to make a move. He has to fix a move down here. That's a big move. I'm going to protect this up here because even if this doesn't work, I don't want him to be able to, like, let's say if I do something like this, I don't want him to be able to get the forcing move here. I really don't want that. So I'm going to protect that cut regardless. And he actually has to do this. He actually has to play another move. He actually has to play another move in order to really live, because I do have the Ko. So he plays this. So I play the Ko immediately because this Ko is pretty light for me, actually. It doesn't matter if I lose the eye down here. I'm still pretty confident in my ability to live out here. So he does this. I do this immediately. He takes, I go down. So if it were me, I would definitely just attack this group by doing this, because that's actually really hard to deal with. I would probably do this. Actually, it's not right now, because I would just do this, and then if you do that, I would probably just Hane out. Definitely. So it's not that hard for me to deal with right now. But yeah, and it's hard for you to actually block me here. I mean, I guess it's not that hard. I guess it's really not that hard. Let me see how this works. Go up here. Yeah, I would probably do this. It'd be tough for you to extend enough lip. Well, I guess he might be able to. But then again, I still have this move. And like this move. And then he would be... You'd have to cut. Yeah, but then you can do this. So yeah, that actually wouldn't work out for me all that well. Because if I did this and this, then I think that move would kill me. More or less. No, actually. That move would pretty much kill me, I think. Yeah. That wouldn't work for me. So this is actually a pretty tough situation for me. But he didn't actually see that move. I just went down, but I would have honestly I definitely would have done this. I might try to do something like that, and then try to go under there or something, because then it puts these two in jeopardy. And if you try to do this, then I kind of have a forcing move right there. So there's like that kind of thing right there, and maybe this works out better for me. Although I'm definitely not sure about that one either. Like, I know, obviously that. No, it still doesn't work out. It still doesn't work out for me. So, like this move, like missing critical fighting moves like this one. This one would really get me to think, because there's really very little way. There's very little way I can do anything about this. Not exactly sure what I could do here. I guess if I did this move, he might actually have a little bit of trouble. But still, like, this would cause me massive problems. Yeah, this I would just be dead. So this would cause me like massive problems. So he definitely missed like the key. He definitely missed like a key move here. Definitely missed a key move here. In this surround, because I couldn't actually, like, I would pretty, if I do this and then he does this, I would pretty much be dead. I mean, like, I just don't see a really good way out of it right now. Because you could just Hane this way and I can't really do anything. I mean, this is obviously not going to work. So yeah, I would pretty much be dead on this. So I definitely made a mistake there, but he didn't see the closing move. So yeah, if I were me, I would definitely play that closing move, because this is actually with this move being here, this is actually a pretty big ko. So I shouldn't have started the ko. I should have just ran out. I should have waited until I ran out before starting this ko. And like, we just left this move here for like ever, essentially. We definitely just left this move here forever, because I was like too busy doing other things to actually even think about this side. Yeah, so this corner invasion, like I said, this shape isn't really that solid. But like my group here, if he just encloses, is actually not that strong either. So the thing is, like, you could just kind of like play here and enclose, and I would actually be in a little bit of trouble. You couldn't kill me. You probably couldn't kill me here because, you know, you have moves like this. You have peeping moves like this. So you probably couldn't kill me here, but you would be able to surround me on the outside. So like those are actually like the kind of thinking you have to do to improve to like a Shodan, at least like a Shodan level, because like you don't have to try to defend your corner like crazy. Like, this shape isn't that great for a corner anyways. But like this group, if you just enclose, if you just peep and enclose, is actually not that strong, and you can probably get a lot of advantages just from attacking this group. So that's kind of like how you have to look at the game. And plus, you have to see this move as well. I'm just going to take the stuff in the corner and then fight, because there's always this cut here. So what I'm doing is like I'm kind of like mirroring this out. I'm actually kind of just extending this group's liberties. This is making this group even weaker, by the ways. And I think this group is this group is totally killable at this point. So I basically come out here. He does that, but he's actually like he's honestly protecting the wrong cut, because this cut's a lot more severe. So I cut immediately. I could also just try clamping here. I definitely could just try clamping here, and this would basically be connected. So he and if he does this, like, then this is just like, you know, he could do that, but that's not that much better, honestly. So yeah, and then he's basically just giving me this group down here. So there's a lot of problems with his move right here. So I basically cut immediately. This is just generally not that great. I do this. He could have just clamped up here. He definitely could have just like clamped up here. Do this, and then maybe come on over or something like that. And I would take the Sente, but look at what he's actually gained. Let's just say I do this. Then you could actually just surround me and try to kill me there, because this group is actually like quite a bit in danger now. Because of my previous moves, is actually quite a bit in danger right now. I mean, I could probably figure out some way to make this live, but it's definitely like not a good way to actually, not a pleasant way, let's say, to actually make this group live. I mean, even before that, like, I could probably do this. Then do this, and this is most likely alive. It's going to be hard for you to It's gonna be hard for you to like, I guess, kill me either. No, that's actually dead. But then again, like if you do this, I'm just gonna go here. So like this is actually this group I can probably make alive, but you would form a solid wall, and then like even if this is alive, you come out here, and then you have all this. Then you made all this territory. Remember, this is Sente, so I can't do anything here. So you can just do this. You have all this territory now. I mean, that's how you use the influence and use your thickness to make territory. And then like you can just play me over here. You can just play me over here. Like, playing any of these moves would cause me like problems because this group is still pretty weak over here. So playing anything like this or this would actually give me problems. You can honestly, that doesn't work, but like you can technically break this pretty easily, break my territory pretty easily. So it would actually be definitely a pretty close game, if not him favored at this point. So sometimes like you have to know, sometimes you just got to know when to cut your losses and just cut your losses over here and just use the influence here and get territory here. And obviously there's this move as well, which he totally missed, but that's otherwise. Which I missed as well, by the way, because I should have played that earlier. Actually, I finally do this move because I'm like, you know what? That's Sente. I should actually make this group alive. So he does this, obviously. He plays this wrong. I think you pretty much, at this point, I think you pretty much have to play it this way. I only have 2 liberties. No, this doesn't work either because I can just do this, I guess. So that doesn't really work, but if you do this, I guess I can just connect here, because, yeah, this would actually be Ko, and that would be a lot better for him than how that came out, because that's a really big Ko, and I don't really have a Ko to fight that with. So that's actually no, it's Ko, but it's kind of like me favored, though, because I still have an extra liberty up here. And you can't connect. So essentially what I have some co-threats here as well. Let's just say you do this, I disconnect, and then you do something like this. I mean, yes, this game definitely favors me, but it's still somewhat playable because you have this corner. Not really that playable at this point, but it's still somewhat playable because you have that corner. So I actually have a couple of co-threats up here, so this is really bad for him. So essentially, like, this fight doesn't favor him, and he really, really just needed to cut his losses and let me go back and then like take a Sente and then fly this out here. Because if he took the Sente and flew this out here, honestly, like he'd be really, really far ahead. But he just never did this move. So realistically, at this point, he's completely dead. Realistically, at this point, he's like he tars the other way, which means he's completely dead. He does need to fix here, and I do this. He doesn't need to do that because I guess he kind of does, because if he doesn't do anything, he just like plays this. If he doesn't do anything and he just plays this, I suppose if I play this, I can just kill him, because he doesn't really have 2 eyes anywhere, I don't think. But he can always do this, Yeah, I mean, this is still alive. It just gives me a lot of the outside, and I would probably end up attacking this right now. So, but you have this territory, which means you still have a lot of territory. But yeah, this was always going to be bad for him. But he plays this the exact wrong way, dies, and still gives me Sente. And of course, I'm just going to take these 2 because it connects my 2 groups. I didn't need to do this. I definitely should have played here at this point. He goes up. I do this. That's okay. I connect. Go up. At some point, like the thing is, there are forcing moves here. But if you do this, I'm just going to push. And that's not really going to get you much. So these aren't really forcing. See, like these moves aren't really forcing moves. Because even if you connect these 2, it doesn't do anything. You're still dead down here. So those aren't really forcing moves. So like I know a lot of low Q players will play moves like this thinking that they're actually forcing moves, but they're not actually forcing moves, because forcing moves like force me to actually respond. These moves don't really force me to respond. You're still dead down here, so it doesn't really matter. Like if you play something like play something like this, yeah, I'm just gonna try to kill this group in here. Or like better yet, if you do this, I'm just gonna take this or something like that. So these aren't really forcing moves. Don't like I know a lot of people try to play copy Katago and do forcing moves, but you got to make sure your forcing moves are actually forcing moves. Go back. I do that. He does that. Like I said, like this isn't really a forcing move. I don't really need this. I do this. He might have been better off. I think he would have been better off. If he really wanted to, he could actually do this, because that would force me to do this. That would definitely force me to do that, and then maybe do this on the way out. I would probably just do that, and then I would come out here. That would be the moves I would actually do here. But either way, he does that, and then he essentially just dies. And then he does that. Now that's a really bad move because it gives me an exact Hane. You can actually do stuff like this, but realistically, like it's hard to escape from this, because if you go up here, I'm just gonna cut through, and I'm pretty sure you're just dead here. Oh no, you're alive, I guess, because you can live. But I mean, this doesn't really work all that. It doesn't really work all that well for him. And like if you do this, now this entire group is going to be under threat. So yeah, that's definitely not a good move. Best move, even though it doesn't matter, even though it wouldn't win you the game at this point, best move is still easily like here. Just get the corner. I mean, it wouldn't be enough at this point because you gave up all this, but and then I could like I could just do like something like this, and then you would actually have to answer. You would definitely have to answer, because if you don't answer, I'm just gonna go home, or do this, or I could just do something like this, honestly. And if you don't, and you would have to do like another move or something, because if you just like play elsewhere, then this is not going to play in your favor anymore. If I have that move there, because now if you do this, that doesn't work as well for you. Actually, no. Yeah, I didn't actually see that before. So if I do this, here. Yeah, you can Hane here. But then again, I can come out over here, I guess. It's kind of a little bit, it is a little bit complicated here. Yeah, I don't know, like this is kind of strange. There's a lot of cuts over here, but if I actually have an extra stone over here, it'd be a lot of problems. It's much more problematic for black. So I could actually like strengthen myself by doing something like this. You would actually have to take it, and then like I would be a lot stronger to surround like this corner here. Yeah, so he does that. He forgot to count the liberties again because he's very short on liberties. So this doesn't really matter. Connect. He charges out. And I'm just going to finally do this because I don't need to answer this. So like he doesn't count the liberties here and in the corner, and it becomes critically important. And at this point, like with this group, I could do a lot better with this group, but realistically, like having killed all this stuff, all I really need to do is make sure that this doesn't die. And as long as that doesn't die, it doesn't really matter what else I do. And I just make sure this doesn't die, and that secures me the win. This fight here, he didn't count the liberties either, because I think he was thinking that I would just take it. And this wouldn't even matter, actually. I think he would, and then he would just do this, and then I connect, and then he does this. I could still live this group here, which means he would lose anyways, but even in doing this, I can just reverse here, and he would still die. So he didn't count the liberties at all, but that's not really how I played it. I just basically extended. It's much simpler. And he may have thought that like if he connected, I only have 2 liberties, but he forgot he only has 2 as well. So he basically just lost on here. And that's when he resigned. So a couple of, so definitely a lot of misplays in this game by both of us. The first one, like me being like my miscalculation here, that I could actually do this, because once he takes this and I do this, once again, this move is very killer. Very, very killer. Like, I'm trying to figure out ways where this comes out in my favor, but I just don't see one. I really don't. Tucks under. Yeah, this is like a big problem. But, you know, in this case, this would be okay for me because I can do this. It'd still be a very, very bad situation for me. But I can actually do that. Or like over here, in this situation, he might just do this. He might just do that, or something like that. Because I suppose, yeah, with this, like with that move, I could figure out a way to get out. I definitely could figure out a way to get out. Here, this would still be sort of an issue. This definitely would be still sort of an issue. This would definitely be still sort of an issue, because you can cut here. I have to. Actually, no, I don't. So maybe it doesn't work as well because of that move there. But I don't know. Like either way, it doesn't even matter. If it doesn't really matter if this doesn't. If it actually doesn't really matter if that works or not, you would still move here just to enclose me, regardless if you can actually kill this group with like variations or not. Regardless if you can kill this group with variations or not, you would. That wouldn't work, so I would just do this right. Oh no, I would have to actually answer this. No, I would have to answer this, and then you can still do this. Yeah, regardless of if this kills this or not, you have to do this because it's really good for your shape. You get like a free enclose move, regardless. And why would you not take a free enclose move even if you couldn't kill this group? All right, so that was the first mistake. Obviously, like there was a bunch of mistakes down here, like not cutting his losses down here, just taking the wall and surrounding me. And of course, a couple of mistakes in the fighting here. So he had several chances to actually win this game, starting with this move. But the thing is, like, maybe he didn't see this move, or maybe he didn't see some of these moves down here. And that's just kind of like reading skill and kind of like a general sense of how the game should actually go. Because low Q players kind of see the game in like one dimension. And like Q players tend to see the game in one dimension too much. And like for me, I'm aiming at this cut, maybe threatening this group down here. But when I cut, like I said before, like seeing this game in one dimension is like I have to kill this group. But maybe sometimes you can't. And when I actually do this, this could actually be the play. This actually could be the play to go. And actually, I probably shouldn't even connect that. I should probably just come out here. Or rather, when you do that, I'm just going to do this. Because if you take one, I can just take it back. That's just like 8 points in there, so that's not a big deal. And since this is all connected, it doesn't really matter. Because like if you really think about it, even if I do this, like this group, like you can actually keep here and then attack me right away. And then you can surround me, and then use kind of like this influence to generate territory over here. You have to see it that way. You can't just be like, I must kill this group, because sometimes you just really can't. So kind of a different view of how like a lower ranked player versus a higher ranked player, how we look at the game. And yes, I will still make plenty of mistakes, like this move and some of these moves down here, but like my view of the game is very different from his, and that's why I'm usually almost always able to win these games. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.